are the spiders? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, IMDb plot time. Horror strikes when an 8-year-old boy named Peter tries to investigate the mysterious knocking noises that are coming from inside the walls of his house and a dark secret that his sinister parents kept hidden from him. Alright, sinister parents. Shame. Um, Alright, new movie here, so we'll try to keep this spoiler free. Got a screener for this one, so kind of disclose that. But always try to give a fair review regardless. And so little boy, basically what it is, a little bit traumatized, going to sleep at night, hearing noises, convinced that there's someone in the wall, someone speaking to him, blah, blah. We've kind of seen this kind of set up before. The parents try to appease him and so forth, but obviously, like we see in a lot of these movies, there comes a point, they get a little annoyed by trying to sleep at night and getting woken up by their son saying that there's noises and so forth. So, we're going to see that. We've seen this in horror movies before. You're going to see that a couple of times. So, we'll get that out of the way. Obviously, his trauma kind of carries to school. He gets a little bit bullied, not the most popular kid. We're going to get a little bit element of that in this movie as well. He's going to find a teacher that kind of, is interested in helping him, that takes the time to actually listen to him and try to appease him. And, they form a little bit of a bond and a comfort space for him when his parents don't look like they're interested in helping him, and obviously he doesn't have many friends at school. So, the nights go on, he hears this voice more, the voice kind of talks to him more, and the voice kind of travels with him. And I guess one of the things in this movie that you'll kind of have to see is it purely a voice, or is there really something there? Is it a spirit? What is going on? Obviously, there's going to be a twist and something revealed later on, which I'll shy away from and not get into to spoil it for you. This voice is going to travel with him, and he is going to go to school, and the voice, kind of wants him to fight back in a way, or not always take the bullying, and he's going to do something pretty bad, and that's going to get him in trouble, and that's going to kind of open the door to us, kind of the audience, kind of seeing what's the story with the parents. And you see at the beginning, you think the parents are just normal parents, but they're not. They have stuff to hide, and their parenting technique might not be the best. And this is kind of where Peter thought it was bad that they weren't really helping him with the voices, but now Peter's in big trouble, and he's going to be in even bigger trouble once he sees what his parents have in store for him. And I'm just kind of thinking, how much more I want to say without giving stuff away. So, Peter is basically, like I said, he's going to have the teacher on his side. The teacher's going to kind of meddle a little bit, but the parents are going to make it clear to the teacher that, hey, this is not, any of your business. Another principal or school official says, hey, it's none of your business, stay out of it. But she's going to stay involved and so forth, and help out at a certain time. But, all expected, and there's no spoiler in that. But yeah, things are it's going to take its slow pace. It's going to get into it, and eventually Peter's going to find himself in a bad spot. In a bad spot with his parents, a bad spot with these voices, and a bad spot with someone else looking for revenge. And while it takes a little bit to set up, and you are going to see some scenes, like I said, that we've seen before. Kid, waking up, hearing voices, and the parents, whatever. We've kind of seen that, but you kind of have to go through that in the kind of setup that this movie is giving you. So we've seen that before. There is I thought it was really good, creepy scene, and I guess it's call it a dream sequence or whatever, a nightmare that Peter has. And when you guys see it, I think you'll know what I'm talking about, involving his parents, and not necessarily the voice that he's seeing or hearing, but a really cool dream sequence. And for you that are easily scared, it may get you. It's probably one of the biggest and only jump scares in this movie. There are other scenes that are more dark and maybe creepy. I don't necessarily would call them jump scares. And maybe there's another one. I don't know. I don't get scared too much, so sometimes it's you just miss them because you just didn't get scared. But if you are easily scared, this one might get you. If you're a seasoned horror fan, maybe not. But I thought it was a cool scene, one of the better scenes of the movie. And we get a pretty good, exciting end of the movie. It is, I'm gonna guess, does not say, or I don't see it. I was kind of wondering whether it was PG-13 or R. Not big on blood and guts in this one. It is not necessarily about that. It's more about being dark, creepy, and the secrets that are going to unfold here. You might see a few similarities to some other horror movies that might sprinkle in there come to mind. Like I said, that whole sequence set up at the beginning we've seen before. There are other things, small things in there that might remind you of some other things. I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to give anything away or give you any reason to not see the movie if you don't like those movies. But you're going to get a little bit of a mix at the end. Obviously, the big secret is going to be revealed. You're going to get maybe a kind of home invasion kind of ending. I'll say that. That's kind of interesting. Again, it's not a whole about a whole lot of blood and guts, but there are going to be some deaths, some craziness, and it gets a little bit wild there at the end. But yeah, and it's, I guess, the final ending of it was a little iffy. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too much away. I'm okay with them. I don't know. I'm back and forth. I guess it's the end is it's very hard to say without giving it away. I sometimes I complain endings are it's horror, so it should be a bad ending. And yeah, it's not a great ending, but it's not a bad ending. A little bit of a mix. But I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just I don't know. It's hard to say and complain about, or not complain, but just mention without giving it away. And I don't want to give away the end of the movie because it's a new movie for you guys to see. So regardless, I'll just move on from that. But yeah, it is going to get darker and creepier as it goes. There's going to be a big secret unveiled. I would imagine this, I obviously saw this at home on the screener. I would imagine seeing this in theaters would probably be much better when it's a lot bigger and darker. There is, like I said, it is creepy and that sort of thing. It is Cobweb, and you are going to see spiders and so forth, but it's not a spider themed movie. again, without mentioning what is really, it's hard, kind of go through without mentioning what is happening in this movie, or what, the voices come from. Um, but it is not necessarily anything to do with the spiders per se. More of just, I guess, where this is happening, sort of. Um, but there might be some other meaning there that maybe I missed. I don't know. I'm guessing this could have been called something else, but um, if you're worried that there's going to be a spider movie or somewhere, it's not that. I guess you can see an element here or there, but it is not a spider movie if you're concerned about that. And no, the voice is not going to be coming from a spider. I don't think that's a spoiler or anything like that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You know, again, I saw some similarities and some stuff that we've already seen, so maybe not totally original. But then again, that's not always, saying much, because it's very hard to come up with totally original stuff. Um, but, I think there's enough there to like. I'm going to give it 3 pools of blood out of 5. I thought the boy in the movie did a really good job. Um, if I can find his name, and I just messed that up. Okay, so never mind. Um, uh, but yeah, I thought he does a pretty good job. Quiet in some parts, doesn't have a whole lot to say, um, but I guess definitely in the scenes where he's supposed to be scared, and I think you'll end up rooting for him. I think he's definitely one of those kids you'll end up rooting for by the end of this one. So yeah, with that, 3 pools of blood out of 5 for this one. And with that, horrorsquaredreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more reviews, written and video. But if you're just interested in the video reviews, subscribe, like, notifications, all those kind of things that everybody wants you to do. If not, no worries, no pressure, no problem. Twitter, Facebook information down below, same as there. Like, follow, whatever. None, no problem. If you want to talk horror, reach out to me about horror. Feel free to do so there. And obviously in the comment section, once this movie becomes available and you check it out, your thoughts. What movies did you kind of think you saw in this movie that I might be hinting at? Feel free to share down there as well. So with that, I guess I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.